So let's look at the sixth question, right? So it says an application currently uses memcached or to cache frequently used database queries, right? So we have memcached to frequently use whatever database query is there. It will be caching that, right? Which steps are required to migrate the application to use Amazon Elasticache with minimum changes, right? So we don't want many changes, we want minimum changes. So what is that step? Two answers are there. So if you look at the A, recompile the application to use the Amazon Elasticache library, right? That is option number A. Now look at the question answer number B. Update the configuration file with the endpoint for Amazon Elasticache cluster, right? So there will be some configuration file where we have to update the endpoint, right? Now C choice is configure a security group to allow access from the application server, right? D option is connect to Elasticache nodes using SSH and install the latest version of memcached, right? So it will not make any sense. This D option, right? Connect to Elasticache nodes using SSH and install latest version or something. That will not make any sense. It says like application currently uses memcached, right? It's already using memcached, right? For caching frequently used database queries already, right? Now we are migrating the application, right, to use Elasticache, right? Already, right? It's using memcached. So now when it is Elasticache can be configured to use memcached, right? So what will happen? It's like this Elasticache, right, is compatible with memcached. Okay, so here I just wanted to tell you, right, the concept that Elasticache, right, is API compatible with existing memcached clients. Okay, now it doesn't require application to recompile, right? Application decompilation is not required because this Elasticache will be compatible and it understands, right, that existing memcached related concepts, right? It works well with memcached, right? So it doesn't require the application recompilation, right? It doesn't require to be linked with any library, right? So, and then this new version or something is again not required. So this recompilation is not required, right? This again reinstallation is not required. Now look at these two things, right? These two things, two answers we have to choose. Look at these two things. Looks like much more relevant. Update the configuration file with the endpoint for Amazon Elasticache cluster, right? So it will be Elasticache managing the deployment of the binaries automatically, right? So you just have to update the configuration file, right? And then configure a security group. So that is also required. So without security group, it will not be allowed, right? And then, so two things, B and C will be the right choice. So this was like, you might be finding it bit challenging, right? This question might be feeling not familiar type, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
not familiar, no.
correct. So you will get some questions, right, which you may not be familiar, right? Even if you practice for a month or two, right, you will find that there may be some questions, right? It might be looking like, oh, I don't know this question, I never heard about it, looks like. So you see some questions like that. Some questions, as soon as you saw that EFS question, you remember? As soon as you saw some EFS option was there, and quickly you said this should be EFS only, right? Some questions you found like quickly you answered. Some questions you found, oh, very big question or something, right? Some questions may take some time to read, right? Questions might be like this question was big, right? So this question was like you had to do some brainstorming here, right? and then some questions you feel like, oh, this is like not familiar, right? So there will be some questions, right? Different kinds of questions, right? So we will know once we look at the certification thing, right? So we will see how we can iterate through the questions, right? When we get the question, right? So how we have to go through it, how many rounds we should look at the questions, right? So that we will look at. So now look at the another point, right? So just try to find out about more about some theoretical concepts more about the elastic cache, right? So that you have some more understanding on that. Now look at the seventh question.
Answer is C.
Dharma?
Yeah, yes, C only.
Good. So your company stores document in this, but it wants to minimize cost. Most documents, so minimize cost. Most documents are used actively for only about a month, then much less frequently. However, all data needs to be available within minutes when requested. How can you meet these requirements? Right? So here you're telling answer is C, that is migrate the data to Amazon S3 standard infrequent access storage class, right, after 30 days, right? So you can use the lifecycle policy, right? You can use the lifecycle policy. You can simply set up that it is like frequently access usually for a month, right? So let's migrate it to infrequent access category, right? Because it won't be required to be accessed, right, very frequently. However, right, all data needs to be available within minutes. So this glacier cannot be a choice, right? Here also 30 days. This glacier cannot be a choice, right? Because it will take time to retrieve. It will not get
Only,
retrieved within minutes. Now, if you look at this reduced redundancy storage or something, right? So again, there will be challenge. This is like, not what? It won't be good. Reduced redundancy. You heard about reduced redundancy? That is not even suggested by Amazon.
it's not a storage type.
Reduced redundancy storage is there or not?
It is not a storage type with Amazon AWS. Maybe something somewhere else.
In S3, you didn't see S3 redundant, reduced redundancy. That is like not the advised one. That is there. This reduced redundancy storage is there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but this is not even suggested by AWS.
Okay, okay.
Right. This is, you can store some kind of reproducible data. I was telling, say like something your own name, your work experience, which company you worked in, which year, like that. If you want to store, right, even if it is lost, you can reproduce your data, again. Understood?
Yeah.
All the countries of the world and the capital of that world, all those countries, right? Like that, if you want to store, right? If you store in standard class or something, that will be of like unnecessarily paying money. If you put in that reduced redundancy, right? So even if it is lost or something, it is okay, right? So it will have like that durability would be less or some kind of those kind of thing will be there, but non-critical reproducible kind of data, right? Where you don't want, no, that is not at all useful data or something. So you can put something like that which can be, reproduced. So here this is also not making sense, right? Then if you go to this test standard infrequent one, so this is quite meaningful here. Versioning thing is not at all relevant. So what you told is the right choice. Now you look at, no, eighth one. So now you will see terms like reserved instances, right? You'll find something like, no, some spot instances, all those things, right? So I have not explained all these things just because, no, this question will be there, and when you see this question, that time I will explain to you, right? So do you have any rough idea about reserved instances and spot instances? Yes, no? On demand
Maybe on
instances?
demand D.
I think
Any idea you have? What is the spot instance? What is reserved instance? What is on demand instance? No? Yes?
Spot instance is immediately
Immediate.
starting it, right?
Yeah.
No.
Reserved means it's already reserved. It's there for no.
There are few instances which is reserved. On demand means.
Okay, so let me explain you, because no, I had no not explained, so that no, once you look at this, right, so I will explain to you. So now, right, so there are no instance types, right, based on billing. Instances based on billing model, right? There's nothing. So instance types you have seen based on the compute capacity and RAM capacity, right? You have seen different types of instances, right? Different instance family and different features and different generation, right?
Yeah.
So like that, right? That was based on their capacity. Right? Now this is based on billing. There are different types of instances based on billing. So just now you saw one name like on demand. On demand instances, right? On demand instance means what? Whenever you demand, you get it, correct? So this is easy to understand based on the name. So you have no commitment, right? No commitment. You're not committing anything in advance, correct? You demand, you get, correct? Now, what is the situation here? Availability at given price may not be guaranteed, right? You are looking for, say, like a particular instance, right, in a particular availability zone. You are looking in 1B, right? Now you are looking, your instance in 1B, right? And usually, you are getting it for, say, like some dollars, right? So now you are looking for some big instance, right? And you are looking for, say, like some extra large 24 XL size, right? So that particular instance, right, you are looking in 1B. It's not necessary that it will be available at that particular point of time as and when you need it. It's not T2 micro that it can be claimed anywhere. Usually you will get it. It's not like that. Some huge instance, some big instance, some particular instance in some particular availability zone during some particular time, some holiday season, some festival season, everyone will have will be taking multiple instances, right? Lot of load will be there on the server, lot of applications will be running. That time it may not be available. So you cannot rely on on-demand instance, right? Every time, right? So there, that's what we have been doing. We have been choosing on-demand only, right? So this can, right? It doesn't guarantee you, right, a particular size of instance in a particular availability zone at a particular time. That is on demand. That is the drawback related to that. However, the benefit is what? No commitment, no commitment at all, right? So you don't have to commit anything to AWS that I'll be using your instance, I'll be using your server for 1 year, for 6 months, for 1 month, or for this many hours. No commitment. You provision your instance, you deprovision it the very next moment, right? As of now, my application is running here, right? And at the next moment I want, I will simply delete that. I will simply terminate my instance, right? I don't have to pay after after that, right? As soon as it is not done, I'll simply terminate that. Now there will be some another category, right? Based on what? Based on the billing. Just be focused. Based on the billing. Now reserved instances. Reserved instances, right? So say like you say, I want, right, the instance for 1 year, right? Right. So what you will get? You'll get some discount. Understand? You say, I don't want to pay any upfront fee. However, I commit. That commitment, there was no commitment. Now here, commitment is there for 1 year. You get some discount. For getting some discount. So sometimes right, Natras, that for 1 year you will be running your website. You're sure, right?
Yes, yes.
So when you have some idea that whatever happens, anyways for 1 year we will be running it, let's take some discount. Why should we pay monthly bill, right? Based on say like $100 per month it is coming. Now if I get some discount, it will come to $90 per month. Why not do this? Something we can say $120 per year. So based on that, right, you go for reserved instance, you make some commitment, right? You say that no, upfront fee I will not pay anything, right? However, I commit that I will for 1 year, like that. Now you say I'll make some partial payment. I'll make some partial payment, right? I want it for 1 year or 3 years, right? Right? I want it for 3 years. I want it for only 1 year, right? You give some choice, right? You get more discount. Understood?
Yeah.
Now you say, I'll make full payment, right? Advanced. I'll make full payment in advance, right? I take for 1 year or 3 years, right? I'll get the maximum discount. Getting it? Here I get 10% discount, here I get 20% discount, here I get 40% discount. Maybe here 25% discount, here 15%. So it depends in which availability zone, in which area, what kind of size. So here, what is the benefit in case of reserved? Tell me the benefit, why we should do that. One thing is discount, correct? What else?
Thing is discount. Another thing is whenever you have a, whenever you have a requirement, so you can fulfill that, right? You can fulfill that queue.
You mentioned when you reserve, you mentioned the availability zone. Yeah. Availability is guaranteed.
Yeah.
Dharma.
Yeah.
Availability in a particular availability zone is guaranteed. Now, benefit is of the reserved instance is availability is guaranteed in a particular AZ. Another benefit you already saw, savings, save dollars, right? Now, right, as compared to on demand, you are saving money. Right? So now you have some constant application, right? You have some database. Database you like, no? It will be running only, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Usually your database will be running only. So it will hardly you will stop your database. So if you know that you have to run a database, right? You go for 3 years, 2 years, anyways your business is not going to be finished, right? So anyways it will be running. So just go for 1 year. So like that, you can do that. So that is the benefit of reserved instances. Now another concept that we have heard is, you know, that spot instance, right? So what is that? Spot instance. Spot instance. So there will be another type of instance that will be spot instance. Right? Now, here there is a concept of supply and demand. Supply versus demand, that ratio, right? Supply, demand, ratio. So that supply demand ratio depends on that. Say like during the month of, no, say like from 15th December onwards, right? Up to say like, no, 31st of December, right? Or say like 15th of Jan, right? What will happen? Some kind of holiday season, some purchase, right? Lot of purchase, lot of things, right? You go and see, the abroad how much purchases will be done, right, during this period, right? So lot of purchases, lot of sale, lot of rush on the websites, right? Lot of so this supply demand ratio, supply versus demand, right? So the supply will be less, demand will be more. So when demand is more, when demand increases, and then what will happen? The ratio will decrease, right? This ratio will decrease, correct? Supply is less. Supply is fixed. Demand is more. More demand, more pressure, right? So in economics also, if you see, right, because of cost will be determined based on the supply demand ratio, right? So if there is no supply and too much of demand, the cost will go high, right? Right? If demand is more, cost will be more, right? If supply is less, there is no supply, right? And demand remains same, still cost will go high. If supply is too much, there are like so many tomatoes in the market.
Petrol, diesel, gas.
Yeah, that less supply thing, petrol, diesel, gas and all. Now, if you just look at the tomato price in one day, right, it will be 20 rupees per kg. Another day it will be 30 rupees. Another day it will be 40 rupees. Another day it will be 50 rupees. That onion price, potato, tomato, all those things. So, if you have too much of tomatoes available in the market and only one buyer, right? So this guy says, okay, I'll give for 50 rupees per kg. He says, no. Okay, sir, please take for 30 rupees only. Right? So now what happens here? Too much of supply here. If he doesn't sell that for 30 rupees, right, that tomato will be wasted, right? And then this user will return home, right? So that even 1 kg also he will not be able to sell. So okay, so sell for 30 rupees or okay, sir, you please take for 25 rupees only. That is also possible. But when there is only one seller here sitting with 5 kg of tomatoes only, very less, and 20 people are there in the queue to buy that tomato, right? So if some person says, no, this person says 50 rupees per kg, That person says, no. So give for 40, get lost. That shopkeeper will say, get lost. Okay, don't show your face again here. So that will happen, right? So there will be many buyers who wants to buy for 50 rupees or more than that. So it's just about supply demand ratio. So when we talk about spot instances, right? So spot instances is based on the same concept, right? Supply, right? Right? Versus demand. Supply versus demand, right? So that supply demand ratio, right? The cost of the spot instances is determined by supply demand ratio, right? So it happens with the same tomato concept with the cloud also, right? Too much of infrastructure, too much of computers, everything is simply kept, right? And right, it's like downfall here. Lot of CPUs, lot of memories, everything is simply unused, and nobody else is there to buy it, right? They don't want to buy. No pressure from the customer, no pressure from end users. So simply so much of resources, right? Half of the resources is simply wasted. So maximum discount you can get, right? So what you do, you specify maximum amount that you are willing to pay, right? So they will say that some market price they will specify, say like market price, they say, right, as $10, right? Now you say, right, you set your price, right, max amount. So you say maximum I can pay up to $15. Maximum I can pay up to $15, right? Now that $10 is the market price, right? So that instance is yours. Okay, $10 is the market price. That instance you are running your data in your data center. Now the market price becomes $11. Still that instance is running for you. Market price goes to 14, 15. Still that instance is yours. Now, as soon as there is too much of demand, right? This ratio is disturbed, right? So supply demand ratio, right, here it decreases. At that time, right, that market price, right, becomes what? $16, right? Immediately, right, this will be removed for you. Understood? That instance will be taken from you. It will be given to somebody who might have specified $20 or $17. Anything more than that market price, whoever is going to pay more than that, they will get it. Understood? As soon as the market price goes high, right, AWS will terminate your instance. It will give to somebody else who will be paying much more than that, right? So in that situation, are you ready to handle that? Got it? If your application is ready to handle the situation when your instance is taken, right? Can your application handle it? Maybe you are having 4 servers, right? Your application is running here, right? Now on these 4 servers, right? Now things are some kind of people are accessing it, right? It's working, right? It's working. People are able to do their activity, right? Now, but it is little bit slower, right? So it's like for 2 hours, right, during morning time, right, say like from 8 to 10, right, there is more workload, say like IRCTC reservation or something. So that time bit more workload is there. So you want say like 6 systems actually, right? So you just add 2 more systems, These are, say, like spot instances, right? Now, you just purchased it. You just decided on the market price, whatever, or your own price. Now, if these two are taken away, what will happen? Anyways, this is running, right? Running, right? You just wanted performance enhancement, correct?
Yes.
It was becoming slow between this time. Now you added 2 more spot instances. It might be taken away, maybe at 9 o'clock only. However, when it is taken away, you will be alerted, right? And then you have like, no, anyways, like everything will not fall immediately, right? Some slowness will be experienced little bit. Correct? So if it is no kind of some temporary work, say like if you are doing some kind of analysis, right? You are running some test, right? Some temporary work, which even if it is stopped, it doesn't matter. I will do it again later, right? So some kind of temporary work you are doing, some kind of batch processing, some kind of testing you are doing, right? Some experiment you are doing, right? So in those situations, right? If you are going for spot instances, right? So that should be okay, right? Everything is not mission critical, right? So some kind of monthly report you are generating. Now today is 29th. Your boss requires report on first day of the month, right? Now you have 30th and 31st also. So if you add some, no, if you run on some spot instances, you just forget about normal instances. Now you have only spot instances, right? So on the spot instances, you are running that report you are generating. So the situation is here you have the spot instances and you are generating the report, right? So now in place, if you run it right on 29th, right, you have 4 spot instances. You're running it. Now it might not work. So after some time, this might be removed only, right? You have only one server which is on demand or something. So you are with that it will run very slowly, right? In place of this could have finished by 29th. It will now finish on 31st. Is that okay? Hello?
Yeah.
That's okay, right? So doesn't matter, right? Now, so those kind of work which is not critical, right? So the application, right? That application that you are running there, right? That should be distributed kind of application, right? If that spot instances has taken away, right? Still that application can survive, right? Right? There should be some option, right, for that application to survive. That's it. Nothing more than that. So you understood the use of spot instances, right? Now you look at the question, you will have different perspective to look at it, right? And now you can answer it. Just look at it.
Then this will be B then.
Yeah. So Dharma says B. Right?
Yeah.
Dharma says B. Tell me, correct? Nataraj, same thing?
Yes.
Right. So now say like
Here, spot instance you explain it is okay. Yeah. But when we say on demand, right? That on demand is also when needed, immediate, right? That maybe that way we can take it, right? This is normal generic meaning.
yeah, on demand means whenever you demand, you get it. That's it.
But this is also like a weekend sale, right? So this weekend I want that, so I'm just choosing on demand. So Looks like that also to be okay.
Yeah, we can look at all the features, right? Whatever is feasible, right? So we can choose that. Let's discuss each and every option. Okay. So now let me use this highlighter. I will try to highlight. So your order processing application processes order extracted from a queue with 2 reserved instances processing 10 orders. So now you have 2 reserved instances. If an order fails during processing, then it is returned to the queue without a penalty. Right? Due to weekend sale, the queues have several hundred orders backed up. While the backup is not catastrophic, you would like to drain it so that customers get their confirmation emails faster. They want faster. What is the cost effective way, right? So we have to look at the terminologies. So it says cost, I don't know, it's not coming. Okay, cost effective way to drain the queues for orders. So you want to finish the queue. A lot of things are stuck in the queue, right? Now you want to finish it faster. You want it faster, but you want it cost effective, right? You have a situation where already 2 reserved instances are processing things, right? It's not like that there is nothing, no fallback option. Now already it is going on. However, you want little faster, right? So now you see create more queues. Either you can create more queues or deploy additional spot instances to assist in processing the orders. Deploy additional reserved instances to assist in processing the orders. Deploy additional on-demand instances to assist in processing the orders. So if you choose the A option, right, create more queues, right? So what will happen in one queue, right? You have already say like 100 people standing, right? You create one more queue. What will happen? Will that make any help? Will that help? 10 orders per minute is the processing capacity. Whatever is the capacity, if it is one queue or two queue or many queues, will it help? Now you have one counter, right? Or two counters or three counters or whatever, right? With that, its capacity is fixed only, right? Right. So as of now, 2 instances are there. 2 reserved instances are there handling to the requests. 2 are handling the requests. Already there is backlog, right? This much of backlog. You create, and both of these are working together, right? Right? And handling things, right? So it's not like one is going here, another is going here, right? Like that it is happening. So if you create one more queue here and you just let that there be more backlog, still it will go to two places only, right? So only 2 people are 2 instances are handling it, right? So it will not make any sense. You create more queue, that will not make any sense. No use. Now what? Now you want it faster, right? And cost effective also. So if you look at, say like leave that B, look at the C, deploy additional reserved instances to assist in processing order. Good, that's a good solution, right? So you add one reserved instances, one more reserved, and one more reserved. You reserve it for 1 year, right? But this activity was temporary, right? The situation where the emails were stuck, that was right for a situation where it is not required for 1 year, right?
No.
So why you pay for 1 year? You don't want it. You just want for 1 day, right? So why you go for 1 year? So that reserved instance option is of no use. Now you look at the on-demand thing, right? So again, you go for on-demand in place of reserved one. You just go for on-demand. So if you go for on-demand, and you just take it for a day, right? And it will help you in processing that request, right? So that instance will be helping. It will be faster. It will happen faster, and your solution will be good, right? However, now you have on-demand instance and you have the spot instance, right? Which one is cheaper? Nataras? Hello, Natras. Dharma. Natras speaking in
Yeah,
mute.
hi. Yes.
So, which one is cheaper? On demand or this spot one?
Spot one.
If spot one is cheaper, right? And in the question, they talk about what? Cost effective, right? Right. So that spot one is cheaper, right? Because lot of things are available, right? Resources are there. So that spot one is cheaper. It may be temporary, but it is saving 90% of your money. There my Nataraj is joining back, right? So
Yeah.
Nataraj, you are back.
Sorry, I'm back. Yeah.
So which one is cheaper? Spot or on
Spot.
demand?
Spot.
So if spot instances are cheaper, right? So if you, and anyways, like you just want it little faster, you go with spot one, let it help for some time, right? It may remain with you, it may not remain with you. There is no guarantee of it, but it is same as another instance. It's not having like it's weak instance or some problem with that instance. There is no problem or something, right? So that spot instance, right? So you'll have reserved instance and you will have spot instances, right? You have some spot instance. So all this will work together, right? In order to fulfill the requirement, right? So all will work and then your work will be finished quickly, right? Even if it is not finished, even if it is gone, then doesn't hurt anything, right?
Yeah.
So this will be cost effective, right? It will be faster. So these are the two keywords, right, mentioned here in the question.
Yeah.
So faster you want and you want cost effective. So that's why, what is the best answer?
Spot is deploy the additional spot.
Spot.
So technically you saw that even C and D are correct technically. However, based on this particular scenario, B is the best choice, correct? Because you want it faster as well as cost effective, right? So if you go for reserved or on demand, it will not be cost effective. So you want it fast, you want it cost effective. So spot instances, that is the answer. Like this, you will get most of the questions exactly similar, where technically all the answers will be correct. And you cannot say that any answer is wrong. You cannot achieve the situation. However, whatever is the scenario, whatever they are exactly looking for, only one will be the best match. Or if they say choose two, then two will be the best match, like that. So just look at this 9th question. Let me know at any point of time if you are tired of answering, right? So 9th question you look at.
C is the answer.
C is the answer, says Nataraj. What about you, Dharma?
Yeah, give a second, sir.
B is the answer? Dharma? Need more
No, I'm
time?
just still. Yeah, I need some more time.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but I have doubts on A and C. Between A and C.
A and C, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Nataraj says C, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dharma says A or C. Okay, then
Actually, B and D, it's actually full permission. They mentioned it, and D is directly mentioning it is to each developer account. So we have to restrict developer accounts, so we can ignore D right away.
So here it clearly says that audit reviews, right? So reviews means he doesn't require any full access. So he just need a read-only access
Yeah,
where
read only. Yes, yes.
yeah.
So D is they giving to all the developers. So that is not that's not the right one. Instead of strike out.
So company has enabled AWS CloudTrail logs to deliver log files to an S3 bucket for each of its developer accounts. The company has created a central AWS account for streamlining management, right? So there is some central management account, right? So the company has created a central AWS account for streamlining management and audit reviews, right? So one central account is there. So just remember that, right? An internal auditor needs to access the CloudTrail logs, yet access needs to be restricted for all developer accounts users. The solution must be secure and optimized. How should a solution architect meet these requirements? So first one is configure an AWS Lambda function in each developer account to copy the log files to the central account. So now there is like developer accounts, right? So now if you configure a Lambda function in each developer account to copy the log files to the central account, create an IAM role in the central account for the auditor, right? Attach an IAM policy providing read-only permission to the bucket. So do you think any issue with this?
No, but configure AWS Lambda function. So
okay, anyways, let's look at another options also. Yeah, tell me.
But Lambda function supports this kind of thing. That's also another
Yeah,
coming
Lambda.
now.
So it's a cost effective, right? Again, it's a cost effective, right?
Lambda function is like, no, you write whatever you write. No, you do it. So configure.
Write code without yesterday also we write something without servers, right? It was able to launch.
Correct. Yeah. So
email function, SNS notification, you can write.
You can integrate with anything. Yeah. So configure an AWS Lambda function in each developer account to copy the log files to central account, right? So that's very simple, right? Now create IAM role in the central account for the auditor, right? Because internal auditor needs to access the logs, right? So auditor is the entity where it doesn't have any user or something. So we can give some role, right? And then the auditor can look at it, right? Now attach an IAM policy providing read-only permission to the bucket. So they don't have to change anything. They just have to do auditing, right? So it should be read-only. So that policy can be done using read-only thing, right? So this looks like no, not bad, right? Technically looking good. Now look at the B. Configure cloud trail from each developer account to deliver the log files to an S3 bucket in the central account. Create an IAM user in the central account for the auditor, right? Attach IAM policy providing full permission. So this full permission, right? Do you want auditor to delete something?
Not required.
No.
Do you want to keep the auditor for lifetime?
No.
No.
So there is no no need of a user. There is no need of full permission also. So this is like not making sense. However, using user also it can happen. Using full permission also it can happen. Technically it can happen, right?
Yep.
But like that will be additional no permission, unnecessarily giving that full permission. That is not much relevant, right? As compared to this A, B is not the best choice. Look at the C. Configure cloud trail from each developer account to deliver the log files to S3 bucket in the central account. Create an IAM role in the central account for the auditor. Attach an IAM policy providing read-only permission to the bucket. Now what is the difference between A and C?
That is lambda function and this is a cloud trail.
Yeah, so it says configure cloud trail from each developer account to deliver the log files to S3 bucket in the center. How cloud trail will no do from this account to that account? How cloud trail, right? Cloud trail can be configured, right? To look at the no whatever things have happened, correct, in the past, right? So it will be just monitoring that, right? Cloud trail, it will give you the historical information only,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It will not do delivery or something, right?
Yes.
So for that you require some action, some kind of function, some kind of script, some kind of tool that can do that for you, some additional thing, right? So here what will happen, that lambda function, right, can do that for you, right? Now configure an AWS lambda function. The D1 says, right, configure an AWS lambda function in the central account to copy the log files from S3 bucket in each developer account.
Yeah.
Now it says configure lambda function here in the central one. Now to copy log files from S3 bucket in each dev, from here it pulls the log files, right there. From there to here it will take. Now create an IAM user in the central account for auditor. Again it is asking about the user. Now attach IAM policy providing full permission. So that full permission, right, IAM user, right? So that will be not making sense here. Right or wrong?
Yeah.
Right. And then again we have to think, right? So that lambda function, right, in the central account, right? Because we have to take from here to there, right? So if lambda function works on your resources, right? If you know it will be working on your resources to copy things there, right? So it will be easier, right? So you run your lambda function here to take no. So instead of no manipulating things here, you just run lambda function in the locally on developers thing, let them run it, let them upload it, right? So things will be uploaded here without putting any burden on the central instance, right? So that is like no, A seems to be the best answer to me.
Yes. Yes.
Correct?
Yeah. Agree.
Okay, so A is the best answer. Now look at some other question, right? So let it be question number 10th. Look at the question number 10th.
CloudWatch metrics.
CloudWatch, straight away.
Yeah.
CloudWatch
What about you,
metrics.
Dharma?
Yeah, I also
CloudWatch?
thinking. Yeah.
Making sense. That is making sense. So you have to configure a rule that whenever CPU utilization of your EC2 goes up, auto scaling is going to start a new server for you. So which tool, right, is auto scaling using to monitor the CPU utilization? So CloudWatch metrics only. Yeah, that is perfectly correct. Straight away, that is the answer.
Sir, as this question comes now, so there is an option D also, right? So it depends on the operating system they mentioned, right? Maybe there is a question on me. So for any like a Windows Server or Linux or any other web servers, whatever it is there, so the CloudWatch will monitor all the stuff,
Yeah,
for
it
all the
doesn't
operating
depend.
systems.
Yeah, it doesn't depend on operating system actually.
Yes.
So
Okay.
it's like CloudWatch is a common thing, right? So
For everything. Okay.
doesn't matter. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is the monitoring solution. And we saw like load balancer, auto scaling, and CloudWatch. These three things work, right, together, right, to keep your CPU related thing, right, computer related thing perfectly, all right, in the availability zones, right? So with three things, you can completely take care of your computing capacity. So CloudWatch is the monitoring one. So using that metrics, it will be monitored, and using that auto scaling, right, it will be started. New system will be started. So CloudWatch metrics, then A is the right choice. Look at the 11th one. It became too big.
Huh?
Yeah.
Done.
It's too big. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's
Now
good,
it's okay.
right?
Yeah, it's too big.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you are running a MySQL database in RDS. Now you have been tasked with creating a DR architecture. What approach is easiest for creating DR instance in different region?
Maybe the D.
I'm still reading.
Mhm.
So, important.
I think D. Yeah.
D. Okay, so create an EC2 server in a different region and constantly replicate the database over there. So you can,
Yeah.
practically,
That's actually
yeah,
creating EC2 and then we are installing database on our own. That's why unnecessary. You can directly launch RDS.
correct. That is too much. So you just create one EC2 server and then you keep on replicating the database. That will be too much of a burden. Now create an RDS database in another region and then use third-party software to replicate the data.
Again, it's a cost effective. It's waste of time.
Third-party software also you use, right?
Yeah.
And keep on doing that replication unnecessarily when you have some integrated solution, right? While installing the database, use multiple regions, right? This way, your database gets installed into multiple regions directly. Do you have any option like that?
No, I don't think so.
Where we install it? Where we installing the EC2 and then on top of installing, it's just a very common statement.
While installing database, use multiple regions. Do we have a choice?
No.
We don't have a choice for installing in multiple regions altogether, right?
Yes.
Multiple region insert, but how to access it? That is another question.
Yeah, while installing the database, right? So we are not getting that multiple region option actually for MySQL.
Yeah,
It will be for
option is
regional
not.
service, right? Not that it won't be for a different region actually, right? how it will be? It will be in multiple, even if you are choosing multi availability zone, multi AZ deployment, right? So you had option for multiple subnets, multiple availability zones, not for the region, right? So we don't have that option. Now use the cross-regional replication functionality of RDS. Yes. Now we have that replication functionality in RDS, right? So that we can use. This will quickly spin off a read replica in a different region that can be used for DR. So we were seeing that we can now promote a read replica to a master server in case of any emergency. There may be a data loss, right? Because read replica will have asynchronous replication, right? It won't be same time, simultaneous replication. However, for DR, right, at least we will have an option, right? In the different region, we will have a read replica. So that will be a great option, right? And the cheapest, best possible, no, option that will be. Right, we can achieve by creating EC2 server in different region and replicating also. But when, what will happen when that primary instance is running on RDS, right? So why not use that RDS only, right? For secondary also, why to go for one RDS and then another EC2 and then again you install it and all. Now another thing is, second thing is what? That the third party thing, right? So that is also feasible. So that like that only. So many things you will feel like, okay, this is third party also we can use, right? But when the functionality is already available out of the box, right? Then why we go for third party, right? So that is the not much relevant, right? Right. So this option is not there. C option is not at all there. Just remember. C option is not possible only. This is not technically incorrect. That is, we cannot install a database using multiple region, right? Out of the box. That option is not given, right, by AWS. That option is not given. So we have to go for some, this D option, which is already available for us. Look at this 12th one. Sorry.
So A, B, the D is the most
No, I'm still reading.
apt one.
Still reading. You are a developer. Want to apply application.
Yeah, look at this 12th one.
Beanstalk.
Elastic Beanstalk.
Yes, both of you are right. So, right, we saw, right, today, right? So simply we clicked, right? So as you are a developer and want to deploy your application, don't have infrastructure background, right? Don't know how it works, right? So you're looking for deploying your application in such a way that infrastructure scales on its own, right? So we had option, no, auto scaling 4 was the maximum, right? So like that, it will scale up, scale down, whatever automatically. And at the same time, you don't have to deal with managing it, right? We don't have to do that. So this elastic beanstalk, that was the quickest, right? Fastest, right? Thing here. Auto scaling Lambda and EC2 server, right? They don't know. That's why they want that question is there, right? That is for developer, right?
Sir, if
yeah.
Sir, if the scaling part, scaling on its own, and we don't want to manage it, if this is not there in the question, right? Even we can deploy our application in Lambda, through Lambda also we can host it. That be okay? Not okay? Just
No,
for clarification.
Lambda is no, not for deploying Lambda is not for deploying the application, right? However, if you want to misuse it, you can misuse it. See, Lambda, with Lambda, you can do something, whatever you wish, you can do definitely. There is nothing like we cannot say that we cannot do. Yes, using Lambda, we can do whatever we write in the function, write in the code, we can do it. But when we have a ready-made solution, right? Why we take that much of pain, right, to create a solution for us? That will be creating a solution from the scratch. For something, one application is already created, one service is already there. So it will be like creating our own service, right? Using the Lambda, right? Writing all the code, right? For launching, auto scaling, launching, EC2 server, managing it, mentioning everything. In the Lambda, we can mention everything and we can do it. We cannot say that we cannot do, we can do it. However, it will be kind of writing all the code, all the structure, all the requirement, all the actions, everything, writing it.
This beanstalk that we have seen morning, right? It will take everything like instance creation, storage,
simply we stuff. Click, it is done. Simply we upload the code, right? And it will be done. That's it. So that is the best, suitable answer. Look at the 13th one.
A and C.
But
A and C, I guess.
A and C, okay. Is that right, Dharma?
Yeah, I told, chef and buffet,
Correct. Look at the 14th one. I have specially added some questions wherever you may have some confusion. So I have willingly added those questions so that it will be clarifying your doubts.
I think D.
The D.
Yes, good. So there is no need to provision EC2 instance. This is serverless, right?
Yes.
This Lambda is serverless. So what is the size of EC2 instance you need to provision? This is funny question, right?
Yeah.
So it's telling answer also. For code running less than 1 minute, you go for T2 micro. For code running between 1 minute to 3 minutes, use M2. For code running between 3 minutes to 5 minutes, use M2 large, right? So it's funny question actually, right? So there is no need to provision EC2 instance on the backend, right? Let it be M2 or M3, it doesn't matter, right? Lambda will do it automatically. Lambda will launch it, right? So doesn't require anything. Serverless, right?
Is the AWS service?
What is the AWS service you are going to use to monitor the service limit of your EC2 instance? Be careful.
I think EC2 dashboard or CloudWatch. I think. What is a service?
Dharma?
Trusted advisor.
Yes. Natras, forgot.
Yeah, I think so.
Service limit. The trusted advisor only will be doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So when you go to that trusted advisor, right? So see service limits.
Yeah.
Right. So all those things, right, related to cost optimization and all those things, right? This service limit will be told by this trusted advisor, right? All these features are available with trusted advisor, right? So here, what is the AWS service you are going to use to monitor the service limit? right? So that will be trusted advisor, right?
Yeah.
Just try to explore further on trusted
Yeah.
advisor. Just try to
Sure.
read more. Look at the 16th question. You are running all your AWS resources in US East region and not leveraging a second region using AWS. Only one region. However, you want to keep your infrastructure as code, right? Infrastructure as code, so that you should be able to fail over to different region if any DR happens. Understood? You are operating in only one region.
Yes.
However, you don't want to take any chance. If something happens, right? Some COVID situation, some situation, whatever may come, that time, that if that region is totally disrupted, right? What will happen? Your system, your business will be impacted, right? So you want some kind of DR, right? Infrastructure as a code. You want to keep it as an infrastructure as a code, right? Which AWS services will you choose to provision the resources in a second region that looks identical to your resources in the US East region? So you want to replicate the entire thing, right? You want to keep it as infrastructure as code, and you want to replicate in case of disaster, right? You can simply make another copy. Everything should become operational, right, with a click. I explained today only, I think.
Cloud formation.
No. Yeah. Cloud formation.
Sure.
D. Answer is D.
Correct? Correct, no?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yes.
Good. So it's like cloud formation. So remember the name, right? Formation, right? You can form it. You can form the cloud, right? So it's like we can keep infrastructure as a code, right? We can create stack. We can keep infrastructure as a code, right? Template, right? And from that template, we can copy the entire setup. Whatever we have in US East region, we can copy the entire setup in from here, and we can deploy in wherever you want, whatever region you want, right? So we can create the resources. We can copy the setup from here, keep it in a template, and we can replicate it. We can provision the new resources in any region wherever we want, right? So that is infrastructure as a code. That is the benefit. So you don't have to operate in different regions. However, you can keep it, right? So that you have that confidence, right? In case of DR, it can be much helpful. 17th one.
And when I started it, I lost all my data. What could be? Data stored in the no, the data stored in base, but not to test 3. Answer is B.
Answer is B for 17th, okay? And Dharma?
No, I'm not sure. Just give me a second. Again, I'll read
Yes,
it.
I'm just still thinking. I think snapshot.
Yeah. D.
17th?
D.
D, okay. Lock. Shall we lock it?
Yeah.
But actually, I lost all my data means maybe something happened, so it's all lost. So if we have a snapshot, then we can create again and we can run it into maybe some natural disaster due to that. That's what they mentioned. I lost all my data. Maybe that is the you can understand like that. Yeah, proceed, please.
Answer is D.
Okay. So When I shut down my EC2 instance, I started, all data was gone, right? So the A choice says the data was stored in local instance store. Is that wrong?
What is local instance store? Means root volume.
You forgot. Okay, anyways, let's look at another options. The data was stored in EBS but was not backed up to S3. So if data is there in EBS, when you restart your system, right, will it come or it will not come?
It will come actually.
It will come, right? You don't have to back up in S3, right? So you restart and it is lost, that means something else, right? It's not EBS, right?
Yeah.
So that is not correct. Now it says I used an HDD backed EBS volume instead of SSD backed. Whether it is HDD or SSD, does it matter? Will it be deleted if it is HDD?
No, it should be stored whatever the type it is, but it should store definitely.
Let it be HDD. It may be a bit
SSD is little faster performance like that only. So
correct. Yeah, it is just faster, right? It's not like any issue.
yeah.
Now it says I forgot to take snapshot of the instance store. You cannot take a snapshot of that instance store, right? So it's not like for taking snapshot or something. You don't have to take snapshot of anything for keeping your data, right? You are keeping a data when you restart your machine, right? Why it will get lost? Only if it is instance store, right? We have looked at the various types of storage. There we discussed about instance store in detail, where it is stored in volatile memory. It is what happens that instance store, we have a host machine. In that host machine, we have our instances running, right? Multiple instances running. So this is my host machine. In that my EC2 instances are running. So whatever is the storage associated with that host machine, right? So this can be accessed here, right, by that host machine, right? Now I'll just show you. I'll go back to the slide. I'll show you. So that will be used.
So this local instance means is the root volume you mentioned.
You forgot instance store concept. Hold on, I'll just show you that diagram. You will recall it immediately. Give me a moment. See, now this diagram we discussed. Look here. What is instance store? See here, instance store. EFS we discussed. EBS we discussed. S3 we discussed. Instance store we discussed. Just go through the recording one more time, right? Now, this is instance store. We discussed that it is ephemeral. We also discussed the meaning of what is ephemeral. You remember ephemeral word you told you have heard for the first time?
Yeah.
Dharma, you forgot Dharma.
Yes.
Okay, so that is like very volatile kind of thing. Ephemeral means volatile, right? So this is volatile kind of storage. So whatever is the instance, we have independent existence here, EFS, independent EBS here, independent S3 here, but this ephemeral storage is there within that host on the host computer itself. It's not separate, you see. So you have instance. That instance which is running on that particular host, they can access the hard disk there attached to the local physical machine. So that is ephemeral. As and when your instance is shut down, there is no connection between this instance host computer and this instance. So instance and host computer are associated only when, right, that instance is running on that host computer. As soon as that instance is shut down, there is no relation between the instance and the host machine. Next time instance might be launching somewhere else. So as and when, right, you shut down your machine, there is no relation between this and that. So this instance store is a temporary storage. That is temporary storage. So we had discussed we can use for virtual memory, kind of caching, some kind of buffer, we can use it, right? So you can use it only for caching purpose. It will be very fast because it is running without any network on the same machine, right? You remember? So I had asked, well, whether it will be faster as compared to other storage. You said yes. Why? Because there is no network in between. It is on the same system. So it will be very, very fast. But it can be only available and when the instance is running. As and when the instance goes down, entire data is lost. So here you have to look at the data was stored in the local instance store. So if you store the data in instance store, right, then what will happen? When I shut down my EC2 instance, when I started it, I lost all my data. That has to happen. There is no other option. Instance store is volatile.
Do we have an option, right? So, but we haven't, it's just theoretical part, but technically, is there any option to save that the data should not be stored like in a local instance store like that? Do we have any option for that when we configure it?
If you want, then only you can store in instance store. Automatically, it will not go to instance store. It will depend on you. See, it is your data. You create EBS volume, you store it. You go to S3, create a bucket, store it. You go to instance store, you store it. You are consciously storing it in instance store. It's not like by default it got stored and it got deleted. Not like that. Right? So they stored it, they forgot it where they stored it, right? So it is like, if that is just a scenario, right, where if you store in instance store, right, whether it will be available or not, that's what the question is, right? So if you store and if you don't remember, you don't know whether instance store I am storing, it will be lost. If you don't know and store it, then it will be lost. So you should be aware of that, right? So that is the purpose. Okay, so now look at this 18th one. You want to run a job for a non-critical least priority task, right? So the keyword here is non-critical least priority, right? Your main goal is to process it in the most effective way, correct? The task is throughput sensitive, but not at all mission critical. Not at all mission critical. Can take a longer time, right? Without any impact. Doesn't matter. What type of storage would you choose?
Cold.
Correct, no? Good. So it will be cold HDD, right? Most cost effective it will be. Yes. Good. Not critical. Least priority, right? So based on that, it will be cold storage. That will be the cheapest possible storage here. Look at some next question, 19th one. You know that you need 24 CPUs for your production server. How many? 24.
24.
You also know that your compute capacity is going to remain fixed. Okay?
Until next year.
Capacity is going to remain fixed until next year. So you need to keep the production server up and running during that time. What pricing option will you go with? Just now we
1
discussed.
year reserved instance, huh?
Natras?
1 year reserved instance.
1 year reserved instance.
This one? Okay. So it says, right, choose spot that will be no temporary, anytime it will go, right?
Mm.
On demand, 3 year reserved, 1 year. So we know that it is for next year.
Next year, yeah.
So it should be 1 year.
Yeah.
Cannot be 3 year, right?
Yeah.
Now on demand will be costlier option, because we know that it is for 1 year, then better go for reserved instance, right? So best choice you have done, right? That's good. Now look at this 20th question.
Not a gateway.
Correct.
Is it? Cross check one more time, confirm. Shall I lock?
I think exactly we discussed.
Okay, good. So you have created a VPC with 2 subnets. The web servers are running in a
Net
public
gateway
subnet.
only it will. Net gateway. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Nataraj, you also in the net gateway only, right?
Yes.
Confident, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you have created a VPC with 2 subnets, right?
You cannot attach internet gateway to private subnet. You can attach it, but if you attach it, it will be public. Okay. But database will be in a private subnet, so we cannot do that.
Okay, good. So let's look at it.
So
I think D also.
I think exactly the same thing we discussed in class.
D also looks something interesting, I feel.
Okay.
Actually, we should not allow that, right? It's a database server, which is a security, so that's what it's running in the private subnet. So when the public subnets, right, when we attach internet gateway, and then net gateway will help to do this from the database server. I think so. Net gateway only.
Yeah.
Okay, so finally, what will you answer, Nataraj?
B.
B only, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have created a VPC with 2 subnets, right? So we have 2 subnets, right? Now the web servers are running in a public subnet. Here you have web running in public subnet. Okay, the database server is running in private subnet. Okay, so DB is there in private one. Good. You need to download an operating system patch to update the database server. So it is in private one, and you need to download, you need to connect to the internet, right?
Both are VPC, under one VPC.
Yeah, so by attaching the internet gateway to the private subnet temporarily, right? So if you are attaching a internet gateway, right, to this particular private subnet, right? So what will happen? The problem is, right, 2 kinds of issues. One issue is if you attach the internet gateway, right? So you have to configure that route, right? Everything, whatever is there, that will be exposed to internet, right? The benefit of private subnet will be gone, right? And then you need to give public IP address also here. Without public IP address, if you have the internet gateway, right, that will be of no use. Even if you have the internet gateway, and if you don't have public IP in your instance, you cannot connect to internet, because in order to connect to the internet, right, you require public IP, right? If you have internet gateway and you have public IP, then you need to configure that route, and then you will be able to go out, come in through that internet gateway. Now, okay, let's forget this one. Let's look at this one. By using peering to another VPC. By peering, right, you can access that VPC only. You cannot start getting access to the internet, right? So that peering connection can happen, right, to another VPC, just to access that VPC, right? So it will be accessing that VPC. You access this that VPC will access it. That's it. Nothing related to internet. By changing the security group of the database server and allowing the internet access. So if you change the security group of database server and allow internet access, but how how it will come, how the traffic will come, right, to the this private subnet, right, when there is no public IP, right, when there is no internet gateway, right? So how it will come? So this option doesn't make any sense. This option doesn't make any sense. Now two things are there. One is that internet gateway and another is NAT gateway. So if you choose that internet gateway, you require public IP, need to change the routing, and then there is a security breach, right? Lot of issues. So those three options are gone, right? So only one remains, that is NAT gateway. So what you have told is the right answer, right? You require a NAT gateway, right? So that NAT gateway can be configured in the public subnet where we have the internet gateway, right? Using that NAT gateway, right, you can have your private IP here. Still, that through NAT gateway, the request can go and come, right, from the request can go to the internet. You can access the internet. So it's kind of proxy, right? The internet traffic cannot reach you because you don't have a public IP, right? So through the NAT gateway, the request will be NATed, right? And it will go to the internet, and whatever answer comes, whatever response comes, that NAT gateway will handle. NAT gateway will take that answer, that patch, that solution, whatever you are trying to access, that response, and it will come back to you, right? How we are accessing the internet in the same way, right? So that is this question, 20th question, right? So now how you are feeling? Feeling comfortable looking at the questions? You have some basic understanding of what kind of questions will be coming, right, in the exam, right?
Yes.
So, and you also understand like how much you need to do some practice, right? Need to explore things further, right? So we have to look at things here, right? So now let us look at I'll just give you one link. Okay, maybe this. Yeah, so I'll give you a link, right? So you can just open that link.
Okay.
Just try to open this link.
Yeah. How many questions will be there usually?
Yeah, I'll tell you everything. Just open this link. Dharma, you also open. Looks like you are interested in certification this month.
Yeah.
Right? Good. So this is the link, right, through which you will look at the certificate something. See here, you have few details related to exam, right? Multiple choice, multiple answers, right? You have here exam guide. You have the sample questions also, right? So these two things are freely available to you, right? Now you just see here, format, type, delivery method, time 130 minutes, right? Cost $150 US, right? Now practice exam, you can go to that Pearson or these whatever partners, right? And you can go for this practice test also. Now in different languages, so you can click on schedule exam now. Now you just download this exam guide. Click on this exam guide. Just go to this exam guide, right? So let's go through this. So what it says, AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate SAAC02. This is your exam guide. This is your exam code. So now this is since 2020, the C02 has come, right? So this is the latest one, C02, not C01. Now this is SAA, right? C02, intended for individuals, right? And here, if you just go through this document, right, you will come to know it requires 1 year of hands-on experience designing the AWS solutions. So ideally, right, the recommendation is you should be working on AWS for about 1 year. Got it? So with that, if you put whatever efforts that you have been, it's not like mandatory or something, it's just recommendation. Now, whatever knowledge you can gain by working, right, for about 1 year, right? So you need to go to that level of skill, right? Whether you want to do it in 2 months or 3 months or whatever, but you have to learn those many things, right? By paying, no, by giving some time, by paying some attention, right? You have to focus and learn that, right? Mainly compute, networking, storage, and database. You see 4 things. What are the 4 things related to our architecture? No, associate level, compute,
networking,
networking, storage, and database. Are you aware of these 4 things? Compute means EC2, right? Everything on the EC2 dashboard, right? Everything on the EC2 dashboard is compute. Now, networking, which one?
Security groups.
Networking is that VPC, right?
Yeah.
So all the thing related to that VPC console, correct? Storage.
EBS.
EBS, S3, EFS, correct?
Yeah.
And instance store, correct? So storage related concepts. Now database, correct?
MySQL.
MySQL related RDS, we have done Aurora, this, that, right? So all those, these 4 things will be the main, right? So they are telling like hands-on experience should be there, right? So here, no, what is the benefit of doing hands-on? When you do hands-on, right? So you will have more clarity, right? So just understanding the architecture design, right? Whatever, how it is designed, how it works, understanding that is much more important than even hands-on, because this hands-on is just to understand the architectural design principles, right? And basic deployment patterns, right? How we are deploying it, right? How we are meeting the requirement, right, in a particular situation, right? When client is asking, when customer is asking, when the organization is asking me to do something, right? Whether I am able to do that, whether I am able to think, right, according to the need, according to the requirement or not, right? If I am able to think in that way, right, obviously I will be able to achieve that. So that design principles, right, those are more important as compared to actual hands-on, because they are not asking you to do anything there. There is no hands-on or something in the exam, right? So it's just like scenario based questions. So hands-on experience they are telling just so that you understand it. You understand it in a better way, right? Focus on these four category. Dharma, you're I'm audible to you? Dharma, VPC, Dharma is telling now. Dharma, can't hear you. We are hearing, you're able to hear us? Hello.
Dharma, rejoin, please.
Dharma, I don't want you to miss anything. Rejoin Dharma. What he's telling?
No, I told. I typed.
Let me pause the recording for a while. So we have been discussing about the kind of experience, and then we are focusing on the mainly the network, the computing, network, storage, and databases, right? For this. So we have focused mainly on these 4 topics, right, during our curriculum as well, right? So we have tried to go and get the in-depth information related to these concepts. So when you come, you just go through all these things, right, in the document, right, and try to understand, right, about the all these things: global infrastructure, architectural principles, white papers, technical requirements. So just try to understand all these things. Okay? Now look at the exam content, response types, right? 2 types of questions on the examination, right? Multiple choice, multiple response, right? So has 1 correct response and 3 incorrect responses, distractors. It will try to distract you. Now has 2 correct responses out of 5 response options, right? So there will be 2 correct responses or maybe 1 correct response. So like that you will have the situations, right?
No, sorry, I didn't get this.
This is like sometimes only 1 answer will be correct, sometimes
Yes.
2 answers will be correct.
Yes.
So how we have been doing, 2 answers you have to choose.
Yeah.
Like that. So in bracket they will mention answer, choose 2 answers.
Yes, correct.
If they say choose two answer means this is multiple response. Now if they do not say anything,
choice
means 1 answer.
Yeah.
Now there will be some unscored content.
Or multiple
choice.
Everywhere multiple choice, but multiple choice and then multiple response. So they will give you multiple choice. How it is? Say like how we have been looking at it, right? So here you see like nothing is given. So this is multiple choice.
Yeah.
Now you just look at some other question where it will be mentioned like choose
three answers, something like that.
Yeah. So choose any 2, something like that. No, we had some question.
First question, I think. First question we have like.
First question I gave 3. Willingly I gave. But here, you'll have 2 and 1. But all exams are kind of different, right? So you never know. So whatever is written, just be open to it. Don't be like closed. See, it is written in the bracket, choose any 3, right? So it will be written choose 2. So if it is written choose 2, then you have to choose 2. If you choose 1, you will not get anything. You will get 0. If even, see here, choose 2 answers. So if you choose 1 answer correct, right? And 1 answer wrong, you'll get 0.
Oops.
If you choose both correct, then only it will be correct.
Correct. Okay.
So you have to choose both. If you choose 1 correct, it will not make any sense. It will be of no use. Now, right, Dharma, getting it? Now you look at the unscored content. Your examination may include unscored content. So if you are spending half an hour, right, for one particular question, like this question, you are thinking, oh, very big, very good question. So let me put some half an hour for this question. Okay. So you spend some half an hour, right? Now you may get 0 marks even if you answer it correctly. Understood? Why?
Time.
No, not for time. Think. This is unscored. There is no score for this. This is dummy question. This is dummy question. That's it.
Oh.
Yes. Understood. So out of the 65 questions, you will get 65 questions. Out of the 65 questions, right, you may have some unscored questions that would be dummy questions. Simply, it will be there. That's it.
Okay.
There will be no marks associated with this, right? So this online examinations, they will be having these kind of things, so that you are not sure what type of questions, right, are the actual questions. Otherwise, when people might be revealing the questions, right, when they go out, they may reveal the question, right, actual questions.
Yeah.
We will have some kind of binding. We will be signing some bond, right, that we will not disclose the question after the examination. So whatever is the actual question, right? So we are not supposed to disclose to anybody, right? There will be one agreement in the Amazon or with any certification. It happens usually, right? So you are not supposed to reveal it. So if there are some dummy questions, some actual questions, so even the person who has attended that certification, he will not know which question is correct, dummy, and which one is real. So if he goes and tells to somebody this question had come, right, that might be dummy, right? So that will be of no use to person whom he is telling that, right?
Yeah.
So like that only, some dummy questions will be there. So there might be some unscored questions. So don't spend too much time on any question. That may be waste of effort.
Yeah.
Don't spend any extra time on any of the questions, right? So that is the learning here. Now there can be unscored questions. It will not affect your examination. Simply it will be there. They will not even check whether you have answered it correctly or wrongly or something, right? Now exam results. Now you see here, pass or fail type of exam. It's not like you have something. So now out of that 1,000, right, total 1,000 marks will be there, right? 65 questions, right? Now I'll just write it down here. So you have 65 questions, right? And you have 130 minutes time. Okay.
2
Now,
minutes.
1
only.
question.
2 minutes per
only.
question, right?
Mm.
You should not spend more than 2 minutes on any of the question. That is the understanding here, right?
Yeah.
So it will be if you spend more than 2 minutes, right, then you might lose some questions at the end. You might not be able to answer all the questions, right? So if you are not able to answer all the questions, then what will happen? Unnecessarily you will lose marks. You may be knowing some answers, right? So you will be losing some marks, right? Just because you spent some time on some question which was dummy question, right? And you lost the real question which might be easier for you, right? So here speed, right? That is important. Speed is important, right? Right? So all these things you have to take care, right? So you can go with iteration, right? So total 1,000 marks, right? And you require minimum 720 marks out of that 1,000, right? So if you get 720, you pass. If you get 720 or more, you pass. If you get less, you fail. So that's why they are telling it's pass or fail type of exam. You get 720, you pass. You will get less than that, you fail. Nothing else in between. Understood?
So it means 72%.
Yeah. Correct. Now you may be having, right? Now what is the, say, like you have 1, 2, 3, like that, some questions are there, right? So now 65 questions are there. So say like this third question is unscored only. This will not be valued. This fifth question is there. So don't think like this question is of 1 mark, 10 marks. This question is of all 10 marks only, something like. So don't think like that. No one knows how much is the score associated with the question number 1. How much is the score associated with the question number 4? Which one has more score? That also we don't know.
Okay.
It won't be written 2 marks each. 5 marks each. It won't be written. Nothing. We don't know, right? So it's not like
the exam type is also like AWS. We don't know anything. It's all hidden.
Correct. So that weightage, right? We don't know actually, right? So some question might be having no
So yeah,
weightage.
for other exams, right? For example, if this is a case 720, 65 questions, if you wrote, if we confident that 60 questions are correct, then we definitely will get pass in other skills. But for AWS,
Correct.
right, as you say, there is no equal weightage, right? Even if you confident on 60 questions, maybe you fail. There is chances, right?
Uh, Depends like how many answers are correct, right? If you say like you are,
Yeah,
yeah, if you are out of 65, if you are
because the
say like doing
weightage is
50
differing.
50 questions, you also answered correctly, right? And 50 questions some other person also answered correctly, right? So you may pass, he may fail.
Oh,
Both of you answered 50 correct, but which one you answered correctly, which one he answered correctly, you never know, right? So you may pass, he may fail, because you answered the questions which might be having more weightage. And then you see some question, right, will have two answers, right? Some questions will have only one answer, right? So you
yeah.
cannot say that the two answer question will have more score or something. No, this one answer type may be having more score, you never know. Understood?
Yeah.
So it's not at all declared by AWS people. So the bottom line here is you don't have to think of anything else other than paying your attention on the question. That's it. Simply look at the question, right? Read the questions, right? Find out the important keywords, right? How we were finding out, correct? So cost effective, right? Right? Or it says cheaper, cheapest, right? It wants to store for 5 years. It wants to store for 2 minutes, right? That what do you call? It want to run that only for 2 minutes, right? We don't want for long, right? So we don't have to provision that DC to 2 minutes. One lambda will run. Now we want that some instance, right? For temporary work, we want for 1 year, right? Dedicated, right? We want, right, some kind of common file system, right? So all these keywords, right? You have to look for all those keywords. You will understand what it is looking for, right? So you just be alert, focus on the keywords, right? Right? No need to worry about the marks. These marks you never think of. Don't think of marks. Forget marks, right? So if you think of marks, then there will be a problem. Don't think of marks. Simply you focus on the questions, right? Simply you do your work, you learn, right? You go and attend the question happily, you will pass. Understood?
Mm.
Simply you prepare, right? Be
Yeah.
confident, practice, right? And then go and attend, right? Without any worry. That's it. Now, the good part is there is no negative marking.
Mm.
No negative marks. So what is the benefit if you are, say, like there are some unseen question,
Mm.
you don't know, right? What is the choice, right? A, B, C, D, correct? You don't
Yeah.
know, so you can do akkad bakkad, right? Right? So don't leave anything, right? So you put
Mm.
something whatever you wish, right? But you must choose something. You don't leave it. Understood?
Mhm.
Don't
Yeah.
leave it. Whatever happens, you don't leave it. Put something, whatever, close your eyes and do it, but you do it, right? Because it might be correct. You never know.
Mm.
25% chance, right?
Yeah.
Probability, right? So in probability, out of 4, getting this right is 25%. So take a chance. If you don't know, take a chance, right? So that is the last option, you simply choose, right? It's not necessarily that you have to leave it. So you have the questions, right? So you go through the questions, right?
Yeah.
Multiple times. Say like the first round, second round, third round. You go through the questions in three rounds. Okay. So
Yeah.
what you do in the first round, right? You just go for the easy questions. Like one answer you gave EFS quickly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you simply went for the first time. You go for the simplest question,
Mm-hmm.
simplest possible. You looked and you just answered it, right?
Mm.
So you solve this question, simplest one. This is simplest one, right? So like that, you solve the questions which are simplest ones. Now, done up to 65, it is done.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, something is many are left. Now
Yeah.
you come back again, right? You can flag the questions for revisit, right? You can revisit, right? So
Yeah.
you flag it. So you flag it, you can come back, right? You come back, you choose. Again, you get you can see all the answers, all the questions, whatever you have mentioned, right? Everything will be available to you until you submit, right? So you come back, whatever you have not answered, right? So you come back and then you do the second round. So what do you want to do in the second round? Tell me. You go for complex questions.
All the flagging, go and check.
Complex ones, the big ones, no? That 3 availability zones, 9 servers, 65% minimum, 3, 3,
Yeah,
3.
calculations.
That question, no, don't do in the first round. That NAT gateway you can do in the first one. That is big. Still, it is easy, right?
Yeah, NAT gateway,
Immediately you
EFS,
told, correct? That is the
CloudWatch.
answer. So CloudWatch metrics, you told quickly, right? So CloudWatch will go in the first round only, right? NAT will also go in the first round. Some complex questions where you required some calculation, 6%, 65%, 66%. Some calculation needed some time, it might take or something. Okay, leave it. In this place, I can do 3 simple questions. 3 simple question might be giving me some good marks. This one question of taking 5 minutes, right? This question might be unscored one. Why should I ruin my time, right? So this question you skip in the first round. Go for the complex ones. Now in the second round, you handle the questions, right? These kind of questions where it is asking it is going to take some time. So the simple questions, if you have taken only 1 minute each, right? You are gaining some time, no? You're keeping some time in reserve, correct? Right or wrong? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Correct? So go for the complex questions, right? In this round.
Yeah.
Finally, in the third round, right? The third iteration, right? You go for, you continue to flag the complex questions, right? In the complex also, there might be some unseen type of questions. Whatever, as much you read, there might be 1 or 2 unseen questions, right? You don't know. You never saw it, maybe. You might be thinking, you might have seen, but oh, I never saw it. This is something different. Now, you guess it. Guess, put it. Understood? Because there is no negative marking. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dharma?
I think Dharma having some audio issue.
But can you hear Dharma? Please respond on the chat. What is telling? Okay, so this is like mainly about that, right? So almost like covered it, right? So now, right? So if you say like in case like for reviewing whatever flagged questions are there, right? So it will prompt you for reviewing the flagged questions, right?
What is the cost of the exam? 8K, right?
$150 as of now.
Okay, $150.
$150 as of now, right? So you just see here. So this here you can see the main part of it, the main component, right? So how percentage will be there? 30% from design resilient architecture, high performance related 28%, design secure applications and architecture 24%, cost optimized architecture 18%. So like that, some kind of content will be there, under which they have mentioned the type of the syllabus, the topics, right?
So it costs around 11,100, something like that.
Yeah, it will be on the day of payment whenever you are doing. So
Yeah.
accordingly, yeah. So good, Dharma can hear. So this is the guide, right? You have downloaded, right? And from here only, from the main page, that URL I had shared with you, right? So you can go to schedule an exam or prepare for an exam, right? So you can go to this prepare for an exam and schedule an exam, right? You go and see, right? You just follow the links. It will be literally it will be mentioned very clearly. So I'll show you in my this browser, right? So I'll show you here. Kind of this reading mode. Okay, this is not good. So I'll show you like this only. So you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll just try page width or something. I'll do, right? Okay, so better. So this is what is the URL you have gone to, right? So here it is shown like that, right? Now, if you just click on, say like that, further, if you see here, it will be showing you all those basics. Now, if you just click on prepare for an exam, that link is there, right? So when you click there, you will find, you'll come to this URL. Then it will say prepare for your AWS certification exam, right? So it will just tell you like that. So you have option, it will say associate level AWS certification. This you have to choose. Here you can see solutions architect associate, learn to design highly available systems, download exam guide and sample questions. So from here you can download things. You can explore relevant AWS training. You can look at the white papers and the FAQs, right? Right. So you can download the white papers. Those pillars I have been talking about right from the beginning. Operational excellence pillar and security pillar and all those pillars. So those pillars related white papers will be there. You can download and go through it, right? Exam readiness training, right? Practice exam, right? So those things are there, and then schedule your exam now. That options will be there. If you go to schedule an exam, here on the page that you open, right? You have option schedule an exam, right? If you go to that page, right, it will take you to AWS certification page. There it will tell you, welcome back. You already have an AWS certification account. If you have an account, if you already have an account, it will tell you like that. Otherwise, it will tell create your account here. So you need to create your account. First thing is to create Amazon account, Amazon.com account. You have Amazon.com account? Not AWS, not AWS.
Okay. No,
Amazon.
I don't.
No, don't have, right? So you have to create Amazon account. So give your email address, right? Right? And your mobile number, your details, create your Amazon account. With that you log in, right? Then you log in with that Amazon account, then you will create your training account, training and certification account, right? So then it will create with Amazon.com account. Then you come here and then you create your certification account. So that will be AWS certification account. So you will be redirected to CertMetrics. So you will come here. It will be certmetrics.com. You'll come to this website, right? Here you will find all the options. Achieved certification, whatever we have achieved, benefits, share my transcript, digital badges, previous exam, upcoming exam, all those options will be there. Here, online proctoring is also available, right? You want to enter the exam from your home. If you have a very good bandwidth, you have all the backup, everything, you are sure, right? In that case, you can appear from home as well nowadays. But that is like, no, that home thing is challenging. Better I would recommend you take the nearest whatever Pearson or that PSI, right? So these two partners, right? So you just choose whatever is nearby, right? Go to the center and then give the exam. Getting it? That is better, right? So they will have all the options, right? There might be frequency of exam might be less, but all those arrangements will be there, right? So with respect to Corona,
There also it's like online only, right?
they're also online only, but there will be like, no, it's better. Their network and all those things you can trust, right? They have backup power, this, that, all those things. In home, if you have to do, you have to remove this book, that book, you have to remove that, mobile, you have to remove everything, right? Away. So a lot of things, they will just take photo, you have to click photos, you have to share with them, they will inspect that. If you turn your head this side, that side, they will question you. So a lot of things will be there, right? So and then most worst thing is like broadband and this our bandwidth and all will be challenging, right? Sometimes that disconnection will happen and something will happen, then they will call you, right? Then you have to do a lot of things. That is like painful thing, right? Better schedule, go to the center only. So you can choose anything, like both are good, Pearson or PSI, both options we are having right here. So PSI testing center, Pearson view, testing centers. You can just click there and look for your just search, right? Just you will find that nearby location wherever you want, you are looking for, right? So some center will be there, some institute, some kind of thing. There you can go and give the exam. So now you will find, right? So like this, you will have
this. We need to pre-schedule, right?
Yeah, you have to schedule it. Correct. This is that is the link, for scheduling. Schedule an exam. So it will be planned for you. There will be limited seats, right? Because of COVID, more challenges, right?
Yeah.
So you have to schedule it in advance, and then you can do that, right? So that is that is what so far I wanted to tell, right? So any other thing like you need any support or something? So let me try to call. You have any question or something you want to discuss, or shall I call Devashish, right? So to join.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, just think of any question
I
if you
think
have.
you can pause the recording so that I can.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Dharma, fine. You have been listening to us, right? So far.
He's on mute.
Yeah, Dharma. So let me pause it for a while.